Hello and welcome back to the Asian Persuasion Show. My name is Nigel De Mello and this is CITAM Church Online. Thank you so much for tuning in again. We're really excited about how the show has been progressing. Thank you for liking and subscribing to all our videos, and please do continue throwing in your comments. They're very helpful, wonderful feedback we have gotten so far. I'm here today at the house of Mr. Amit Sharma. Amit, thank you so much for joining us and availing yourself to be here for this interview.
Well, thank you for coming. It's a pleasure to host you. And yeah.
Asante. Amit, for those of you that do not know him, is the founder of Land Maui Limited. And he is also the man who is behind helping CITAM Missions Department bring in the evangelism trailer all the way from China. Amit, would you like to tell us how on earth did you get connected to CITAM? That must be a very interesting story there.
You know, it is interesting. I think Steve Jobs in his commencement speech once said, you know, you can only connect the dots when you look back on your
Sure.
on your life and on your steps.
Wow.
And I think it began, or this journey with CITAM was one of the trucks we once did for an American mission in Thika for their borehole drilling years and years ago, and they were very happy with it, of course, and the truck's still going, I believe. But they came then, the church they were affiliated to in Thika, Bishop Mbai, came for a roadshow truck to us, and then he was enthralled with how it was working and how the service he received from Land Maui, and Bishop introduced him to Bishop Mulandi,
Oh, yes.
who is doing some great work as well in outreach, and who wanted as well a roadshow truck with some very specific requirements, which we successfully executed for him. And I only found out through Bishop Kalista that is how now the link and the recommendation came. So
Yeah.
I think in your circles you say the Lord moves in mysterious ways.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I think that's how we were linked to CITAM, and we're very excited by the outreach that CITAM wanted to do. They wanted to go beyond roadshow and now have the evangelist stage so that bigger crusades could happen and bigger outreaches could happen. So it's a big, bold step by CITAM, and we commend and applaud their decision on going that way.
Absolutely, as Bishop Callisto told you in the launch, I just echo those words. You have been used of the Lord. Yeah, no, this evangelism truck will definitely help us take the gospel, the love of Jesus Christ, you know, far and wide beyond this country, and you're a big part of that. Through that blessing. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure, and
Yeah.
and all the blessings we've received from CITAM
Yeah.
have been very, very meaningful to us.
Amen. Amen. I mean, I would love to know a little bit about you as a person. You know, what do you feel comfortable, you know, in front of the camera just saying? Tell us a little bit about your life. Who is Amit? What can you share?
So Amit is a Kenyan by birth. My family have long and strong roots in Kenya. I studied in Nairobi. It was his home.
Wow.
The streets and neighborhood of Woodley was my playground growing up. Kavina School was my primary school, and Hillcrest Secondary all the way to A level. I was lucky enough to be in private schools throughout. Then university was in England.
Okay.
I was at Nottingham University for 3 years.
Oh, nice.
Stayed on to work in England for a year, and it was enough. And so then I came home to Kenya, and my family were at the time winding down their businesses, going through some experiences there. So I helped them through that, and then really fell into sort of business, and Land Maui was born
Wow.
In fact, it's interesting that and I look at it now, 1997, 5th December 1997 is the date we were incorporated.
Come on.
So we're coming to 25 years of service.
Fantastic.
And it's been quite a journey,
Amazing. We'd love to hear a lot more about that in our second segment where we're talking about your professional life.
Sure.
But in this one, we're focusing in on your personal life.
Okay.
So let us know, Amit, where in the world does your family hail from? Obviously India, but India is vast, eh? So which part of India, and what were the circumstances that, you know, the parents decided, or the ancestors decided, well, enough of India, let's give Africa a try?
It's really interesting, actually, because India, as you say, is vast, and my origin story is from the northern part of India.
Okay.
Sort of the foothills of the Himalayas, the Shivaliks, as they call it. And I think around 1896, my great-grandfather first ventured across.
Yeah.
And it amazes me because it's very far from the sea, so he must have crossed the entire subcontinent to find a port, then on a dhow sailed down to Mombasa and disembarked there. Now, what drove him to do that at that time, I don't know. It predates even the railway sort of influx. And then he went back and forth to India, I think, and then so that's my great-grandfather from my grandmother's side. My grandfather came to India as a teenager, came to Kenya as a teenager.
Right.
Somewhere around 1910, probably. Just before the outbreak of the First World War. And unlike, again, he wasn't one of the contracted workers, because they were bringing a lot of Indians at that time to build the railway.
Right.
He came of his own volition, it seems, and again, quite a journey across India, Dhow, to Kenya. And he was then in Savo with a few people, and one of his first forays was providing fuel, timber, or fuel wood for to the railway line.
Okay.
And then there was quite a bit of agitation at that time. I don't know if you know. And in this, the First World War broke out. So he actually got arrested by the British authorities, him and a few others, and they were jailed in Fort Jesus. And where he stayed and learned to read and write, apparently, as a young lad. But it was quite tragic because they were actually sentenced to hang.
My goodness.
As being spies for the German army who were attacking from Tanganyika, as it was then. In fact, one of his mates was hanged publicly in Mombasa, and he was on death row. And it's only by some grace that a visiting general, Jan Smuts, came to Fort Jesus, saw him, and said, "Why is this? He's too young. He must be." So he stayed in jail for a little longer, I think, or in Fort Jesus, and then he was a clerical officer, and then opened a store in Nairobi, downtown on Moi Avenue, I think it is, and his wife, my grandmother, was born in Kenya.
Yeah.
So and then my grandfather and they had their family, 5 kids. Who have now spread over the world. My father and his brother are still in Kenya, very aged and still here. And my son now. So my son would be like a 4th generation born in this country. So when you say where you hail from, it's difficult to answer.
That is fascinating history.
Yeah,
absolutely amazed.
Yeah,
absolutely amazed. So country of origin, state of origin in India, I'm guessing Punjab.
Next, I think we were from Himachal Pradesh, which is HP, which is the foothill.
Yeah.
But it is the same area, Punjab, HP, and then down UP to Delhi and things.
All right.
I think.
So probably the language they used to speak is Punjabi.
Punjabi, yes, very rusty, and I mean, having been raised here,
You don't use it much.
Don't
I thought
use
it's
it
a
much.
very big language to
I
get
know
along with your Kalasinga friends.
No, it is, but you know, like but Hindi and Punjabi sort of is been what the family speak.
Okay.
But again, we're always addressed in English and Swahili and stuff. So still have a few words. You know, still can speak and communicate in it, but not very well.
Okay.
So
so I'm guessing that you don't visit your shags very often.
my shags is Woodley. So no, I've been to India a few times, and it's interesting. Every time I go, it's always been asked, so where are you from? Because it's quite obvious that you're not necessarily from there. I think from a mile away, you carry yourself different, you speak different, you dress different slightly. Okay. I love going to India. I've been a few times. It is a great place, but I always leave there thinking I'm so grateful that my family left when they did to come here to this beautiful
Kenya
land.
Kamili, Kenya Damu.
Kenya Damu. So it's lovely.
Wow.
It's a great place to have lived. I had the privilege of being raised here. It's a great place to raise my own family.
Yeah.
It's home.
Kenya's been good to you guys.
Kenya's been it's home. It's home for us.
Amazing. So Kiswahili.
Yes.
At least you can introduce yourself.
Hapo sasa tuko sawa.
Hapo
tuko sawa.
Hebu jitambulisha na lugha ya Kiswahili tafadhali.
Swali nikuambia.
Unaitwa nani?
Jina langu ni Amit Sharma. Ni director wa Landmawe Limited. Kampuni yetu iko hapo Nairobi, karibu na reli. Nilizaliwa hapa. Baba yangu alizaliwa hapa, nyanya yangu alizaliwa hapa, so tumeshaishi hapa.
That exam you have passed. That one you have passed, I mean.
Asante.
So you're from the Arya community, the Arya, what they call the Arya Samaj.
Yes.
Which means the noble society in the Sanskrit. It sounds very, very lovely, very deep. Now we know that the Arya community have really invested largely in academia, in schools. You think about Arya Vedic Secondary School, or the girls' school that's in Parklands. And we have the Arya Boys Secondary, which was in Gara. Now we're calling it the Arya Academy, Arya Vedic Academy. Okay. Tell me, how does somebody from that community not go to Arya Boys and end up in a school like Kavina? Isn't Kavina very, very Catholic or, very Christian?
Very Christian, very Anglican school. It's a very interesting community. First of all, I think the Arya Samaj, as we call it, Samaj means church or temple, is a very small community in Kenya.
Okay.
Historically and even currently. It's amazing what the previous generation, in fact, from my grandparents' generation, the kind of effort and work they put in community. In fact, it was their generation that built the schools, the temples, the dispensary, and and there were a handful of them. But they were, in fact, I think downtown on Mamangina at that time was just a dust road. Was Vedic House was quite a formidable building in its time. So they did great works in charity, in humanity. I think there's a lot of that. Many temples do that. But what was striking was it's a small number of people, but still produced good schools and basis on equality is quite big thing for Arya Samaj. That there's a girls' school and a boys' school, and there's no thing. And I think it was more the geography of where I lived. I walked to school every day, so Kavina was down the road. As you said, it was a very Anglican, very Christian school.
So you must have had to be, there were mandatory chapel services. We had to learn Latin and the prayers. So tell me, with all the the Aryan background, your community has established several schools: Arya Vedic Secondary School, the boys' school, and the girls' school in Parklands. Ideally, you should have gone to one of those schools, right? But how did you end up in Kavina, which is a very, Anglican kind of Christian school?
I think, as I say, it was the geography of it all. Woodley was home, so I walked to school every day. Kavina is and was a very Christian institution. We had Bible study daily. We had assembly and prayers every single day. A lot of Bible study. So it actually confounded a lot of people that I know quite a bit about, or I've read the Bible through it. So it was a good grounding. It was a good school. I was lucky to be there, I think.
You probably know the Lord's Prayer of
I'll
start and finish. Our Father who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us from temptation, deliver us from evil.
You would have passed all your CRE.
I was very good at the time. Two things did stay with me, I think, rather than the two elements of the Bible I think have stayed in my life really strongly from that foundation. I think it's John 8:31, where it talks of the truth. Know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And try to live a life that is one of truth and honesty. And then the golden rule, Matthew 7:12, is you do unto others as they would do unto you. And I think those are very, very beautiful parts of my learning on my journey, and try to stay true to them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Amit, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, my friend.
Yeah.
We're trying to wind it up, but I just want to ask one more question. Maybe we'll pull some of the questions into the next segment.
Sure.
But what's your greatest pain from the Kenyan people? Or if I'd say it in a different way, if you'd be praying for Kenya, what would your prayer be for us in this day and age?
I think Kenya is such a blessed country. I mean that in so many aspects. In terms of our people, we are everywhere. You look at high up corporations in the West and all over the world. You look at people working hard in hospitality industry in the Gulf, for example. You look at our athletes. You look at attributes. You look at the rugby team. You look at our we have so much. We have got beautiful country, wildlife and parks and fabulous agriculture we're exporting to the world. We have very hardworking and good people all around. I feel that we've only been failed by politics and bad leadership, and ours is I wish we could lift ourselves above that, because the country itself is not near its potential. And I just wish for a greater emphasis on people-centric and equality, and just allow Kenyans to thrive. I think that's where my biggest pain is.
Well, thank you so much, Amit. That's maybe all the time we have for today. But I did do a little bit of research, and I found out that your name, Amit, means boundless, and Sharma means joy. So put together, it's boundless joy. And so I wanted to present you with this Bible, and specifically I have a Bible verse for you.
Wow.
And it's from the book of Psalms, the Psalm of David. And Psalm 16, it says in verse 8 to 11, I keep my eyes always on the Lord. With him at my right hand, I shall not be shaken. Therefore my heart is glad, my tongue rejoices, and my body will also rest secure. It goes on to say, because you will not abandon me to the realm of the dead, nor will you let your faithful one see decay. You make known my path of my life, and you will fill me with joy in your presence and with eternal pleasures at your right hand. Be filled with joy. Amen. The little that I've known you, it's been a joyful experience.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
That's really nice. And like I say, CITAM have done so many prayers for my family,
Yeah.
for us,
Yeah.
my company,
Yeah.
and I'm very, very blessed for it. Thank
Continue
you.
to be a part in this journey, because I think there's something big that God has
Thank you very
in
much.
the story of your life.
I'll cherish this, brother.
Asante.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much for tuning in. We look forward to having you again. Join us next time on CITAM Church Online. Please do remember to subscribe and click the like icon and the bell icon for future videos and stuff. Next time we'll be discussing Amit Sharma's professional life. We'll see you. Bye bye for now.